Welcome back to A Journey with Dante podcast and our reflections on Dante's life, work, and the Divine Comedy. My name is Richard and I will be your host today. And today we're just going to talk a little bit about the sphere of the sun in paradise, in Paradiso. Because we're reading through the whole of Paradise very slowly now, more like meditative, and sometimes just one little tercet, sometimes half a page, and just to go through the journey once again and see and kind of rediscover and also make new discoveries of just the beauty and the wisdom that is kind of packed into every single page almost in the comedy. So we just wanted to make this one point from one tercet, which is about the Seraphims and the Cherubim, which is kind of the main topic of the fourth sphere of the sun, about the knowledge and about the love. So the Seraphims are metaphors, symbols of love as the highest angelical being, meaning the highest force, the spiritual force that is shaping your life and reality and the cosmos and existence. And then the cherubim are the second place, meaning knowledge, streams of knowledge. They're guarding the Garden of Eden. They're also guarding the Ark, and also in the tabernacle, in the Holy of the Holies, they're standing over, meaning that they're both the portal, the path into the divine, and they're also protecting it at the same time. So they are in the second place. So the one tercet that really stands out is in Canto 11, like Song 11. So just to say this, like what Dante is doing in the fourth sphere is to write about wisdom and about kind of theology as the splendor of theology, and then how he kind of defines in some ways kind of the main or strongest elements in the divine. So he says you have two circles that are kind of surrounding the pilgrim and Beatrice, and he says one of the two shone with seraphic love, the other through his wisdom was on earth a splendor of cherubic radiance. So this is the seraph and the cherub, and this is then connected to Saint Francis as the saint, the monk who married poverty, and then Dominic, who is the one for wisdom. And they are also then the founders of the orders of the Dominicans and the Franciscans, who were in many ways also kind of educational institutions in the time of Dante. That's where you could go to study like the 7 liberal arts, the trivium and quadrivium, for example, also then astronomy and science. So those two are then kind of defining those two rings that are surrounding. And then Dante is then connecting this with Dionysius and the angelical beings. So it's just a super beautiful way of compressing this whole kind of the divine, as it describes that this is the place where what is revealed is kind of how he breathes and how he begets, as kind of two other concepts that are fundamental for the theology. And then comes the wisdom and the love, and then he connects this also with his contemporary times, kind of how this is manifested or reflected or expressed through these two orders, and then those two circles with 12 people in each of the circles of kind of representatives of wisdom. And also in some sense you could also see this as like the pilgrim and Beatrice is kind of, in some ways it can even be kind of yourself and like your consciousness in the focusing on theology with Beatrice. So at the core, like the center of yourself, in a moment you could have kind of yourself in a theological mode, and then you will be surrounded by all this knowledge that have been expressed through these 24 figures, and then you're kind of bathing in this enormous illumination of theology and philosophy and knowledge, and just the tradition, as well as kind of how it was in Dante's days. So that's all we want to say in this one. This was kind of a little drop from the sphere of the sun, which is one of the most beautiful parts of the whole comedy. You can kind of sense it that this is one of those places where Dante as a writer really enjoys what he's doing. This is in some ways the source of the light in itself and the joy in it. So that is the fourth sphere, and it spans from song 10 until middle into the 14th, when they travel further up into Mars. So it spans 4.5 cantos, which is one of the biggest spheres in the paradise. Okay, so that's all for this one. Hope some of this was interesting, and we'll see some food for thought, and see you again next time. Thank you so much for listening to A Journey with Dante. If you enjoyed some of this, you can listen to the other episodes, or also go to our YouTube channel, which is called A Journey with Dante. And you can also support us and get extra materials at patreon.com/ancientworld. Thank you so much for listening, and see you again in another episode.